Hi, I'm Viktor Larkhill, founder of Let's Adopt, an animal rescue group that specializes on extreme cases. Animals that have been neglected, abused, or that have chronic diseases that are out of reach for other organizations. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the most common disease found among the dogs that we rescue. You've seen these videos, you've seen animals that are completely neglected, dejected, living on the streets, animals that have given up. Now, many of those animals you will have noticed that have terrible skin conditions. They have terrible lesions. I mean, in some cases, like in the case of Oscar or Helena a few years ago, they have turned into stone. Like their skin is covered in like a substance, like if it was the bark of a tree. Now, this disease is called LEISHMANIASIS, and it's a terrible disease that affects mostly of animals found in the tropics, in the subtropics, and in the south of Europe. Now, we are here in Spain. We know that there are many cases in Greece, in Turkey, in Italy. It's a very common disease. Today I'm going to explain you a little bit more about this disease, this condition, and I'm gonna try to convey the message that you shouldn't be scared. It is a complicated disease if it is not treated. If it is treated, it's okay. It can be managed. The animal can have a long and happy life. But let me tell you more about Leishmaniasis. Leishmaniasis is a parasitic disease. It's a disease that is transmitted. It's a parasite called Leishmania that is transmitted by the bite of a sand flea. The sand flea is called Phlebotomus. Now, you will not find a Phlebotomus flying around. You will not even see it. The Phlebotomus is a small sand flea that is about the quarter size of a mosquito. So most of the time you don't even see it. And if you put a lot of attention, maybe you'll see something there. But anyway, they are invisible. Now, these things are usually in the sun. They're usually hidden, and they tend to bite the animals and people, very importantly. This is a disease that affects equally humans and dogs. What happens is that because of our size and because of our immune system, tends to affect humans in much less spectacular ways than it does the dogs. There are two types of leishmaniasis. The cutaneous leishmaniasis, which mostly causes skin lesions and the kind of injuries, necrotizing of the tissues in the ears and the nose, and you've seen these things in many of our animals. Now, this is the cutaneous disease, and then you have the visceral disease, which is when leishmania affects the internal organs, affects the liver, affects the kidneys, affects the eyesight, and that is a really tricky one. The treatments for humans and dogs are exactly the same. Over here we use glucantime, which is a drug that directly impacts the parasite, as well as strengthening the immunitary response of the animal towards the parasite. There are two others. There's another one called Leishgard, which is a syrup, and then we also have milterforan, which is another drug. They all act in a similar way, maybe taking a different route towards tackling the spread of the parasite in the animal, but the three of them are very good. For humans, the drugs are different. Also, the way it affects humans is different. But I want to stress something. This is not a disease that is spread by dogs. The vector is the sand flea. So it's something that affects equally animals and humans. Now, because this is a disease that is prevalent in tropics, subtropics, and southern Europe, it means that vets all over the world may not know it. Now, believe it or not, even if with the prevalence of the internet, there are many vets that, because of a disease is not prevalent in their area, they just tend to ignore it completely. Of course, over the last few years, decades maybe, situation has changed. With animal rescue groups operating internationally, worldwide, local vets sometimes are forced to get in touch and to actually understand diseases that are not common in their areas. A dog traveling from Thailand, for example, to the United States is very likely to bring diseases that the local vets may not know about. And same thing for Spain. A dog coming from Spain going to Sweden or going to Germany may have leishmaniasis, and maybe the vet in Dortmund or in Munich or in Oslo may not be familiar with the disease. When a local vet encounters leishmaniasis, the first thing he does is, if he doesn't know about the disease, he just goes and Googles it, and then he sees terrible cases with terrible skin conditions, and the reaction is like, wow, what is this? I don't know about this is very dangerous. And there are many times that the local vet doesn't go and doesn't explore the treatment, doesn't explore the solution, doesn't get involved. As a result of this, there are many local vets that when they see a case of leishmaniasis, they immediately recommend euthanasia. Now, this is appalling. I will go as far as saying that this is against scientific knowledge and against scientific practice. When you encounter a disease that you're not familiar with, at least research it a little bit. Don't react with fear. Research it. You may be surprised what you're gonna find. Now, as a result of this, we have a problem, and we have something that we always have to be very careful. What happens if the animal that we send here, the animal that is adopted in another country, arrives there, and then that family doesn't have a good vet, or simply doesn't have a vet that wants to know about a disease that he doesn't know about yet? That has been a problem, and I think the solution, the answer goes, it varies depending on every country. For example, we have sent many dogs to the United States that had leishmaniasis, and we knew it, and the family knew it, and the local vet knew it, and we have worked with them, we have guided them in order to treat the condition. As I said, it's a chronic disease, but it's managed very easily. The only thing that they have to do is a blood test every 6 months, 8 months, every year, and make sure that the disease doesn't progress. If there is a change in the progression, then it's treated very simple with a pill. So it's really not a big problem, and it hasn't been for many of our families. But we also had situations where we sent a dog to another country, to the UK, for example, or to Sweden, or to Germany, and then the local vet got really scared and said, no, this dog has to be euthanized because it has leishmaniasis, it's very dangerous. And that vet really knew nothing about the disease, really was completely clueless. There is a tendency to trust your vet. Of course, it's a figure of authority, it's the person that takes care of your animals. Not every vet is the same. Not every vet has the curiosity, and not every vet has the knowledge. And some vets don't even have the intention of knowing more. And that creates an issue. But we're always trying to help in those cases. For example, when one of our dogs is adopted in the UK and the dog has leishmania, we have a list of vets in the UK that have knowledge, are knowledgeable about the condition. In many occasions, these vets are either Spaniards living in the UK, or Italians, or Greeks. Every vet living in the UK that hails from the south of Europe knows about leishmaniasis and knows how to treat it. In other countries, it's a little bit more difficult. For example, Sweden. It's got to the point where we try not to send animals to Sweden, even if we have wonderful families over there. But usually the reaction of Swedish vets and Norwegian vets, for example, tends to be very negative. They don't want to know about it. Similar situation we have in Germany. It depends on the vet, really. But I'm here to make a video to send a message of calm. You don't have to worry about it. Our vets are always here, willing to work with your vets in case leishmaniasis becomes a problem. Now, if you're one of our families, you know that whenever there has been a case and whenever the animal is doing a little bit worse, we always ask you to ask for a proteinogram. And from here, we always help you, adjust, fix the treatment so that the animal is in perfect condition for the rest of his life. Now, this is just a video to introduce you and to explain more about that disease that creates a lot of problems if it is not treated, if it goes unchecked, but it's very easily manageable. We have amazing cases, we have amazing recoveries, we have dogs all over the world that are living with the disease and that have absolutely no problem. They just need a blood test every 6 months to a year and to make sure that everything is fine. Leishmaniasis is a terrible condition. When it affects humans, and when it affects dogs. And it's a condition that can be treated very easily. Please do not give up to the scare tactics of some vets. Please don't be scared. There are thousands of diseases all over the world, and the world is changing and the world is interconnected. It's logical that sooner or later we're going to find diseases that are not common in our country or in our area. Please don't be scared. It's okay. Leishmaniasis can be treated. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Please, if you found this video interesting, if you have friends that have adopted a dog from another country, if you're considering adopting a dog from another country, from the tropics, please share this message because it could save some lives. And please don't forget that everything we do here, every animal with leishmaniasis that we have ever saved, every animal with leishmaniasis that we will save, will only be saved because we are relying on your help. So please, if you can, donate, help us continue saving lives. Please join me on my support group on Patreon. Thank you.